I think I've found my new favorite action cam. What's up everybody? Welcome back to another video and thanks for stopping by. Today I'm going to be talking about my new favorite action cam that kind of fits in this little AirPod Pro type shape of a case. It's called the Insta 360 Go. And this guy is that tiny, okay? It actually fits in this case and it's like the size of your thumb. Now, there's tons of videos out there on how to use it, how to set it up. In this video, I'm just going to be talking about all of the reasons that I love using this and what makes this camera so fun. So let's go check it out. One of the reasons why this has become my favorite action cam is that it's just so tiny, right? It is about the size of your thumb, okay? So you can mount this in different places. It has a magnet in the back. And then you can also use the case as a little tripod. There's a little two legs in the back that open up, and you can put this on the ground and aim it at you and you can ride by. It does fall down if there's a lot of wind, so you do have to be careful a little bit on that, but it's been pretty good. It only fell down like once in the times that I've used it so far. Now another reason that this is so cool is that it has a magnet already built in, so you can actually mount it on things, on different types of metal. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the magnetic mount to mount the camera on this pole, and I'm going to use that to get some B-roll. So that's one use. Just use the magnet straight up on the camera, mount it to something like the pole or a sign, and get your shots. They do have a couple of little cases that you can use. This one's kind of cool because this kind of slides out and you have some sticky adhesive here. And this is the type that will get sticky again once you clean it, and you can basically kind of mount this to your bike and you can capture different types of footage and different angles. And because the footage it captures a 180 degree of video, and then in post you're going to then determine if you want to go vertical or you want to go horizontal. But this can be crooked. It doesn't have to be straight. You can pretty much put this in any kind of, you know, direction here. Like, it doesn't have to be straight like a GoPro. Like with a GoPro, you're pretty much locked in unless you have that mod that allows you to twist it and then it kind of maintains the horizon level. This one already has that without needing another mod. You can just keep it like this, and I've used this mount like this and it's been fine. It hasn't fell out or anything. I've also tried putting it on forks like this, but this one is not as sturdy because the forks are round. There's not a lot of surface area for this to stick on, and then once this gets dirty, it doesn't really stick that much. So you gotta pretty much, if you're gonna use it for something like your forks, you definitely have to do this the first time you're using it when it's the cleanest, okay? And then when you're done, it has a little thing that a little case that it can slide in, and it doesn't stick, so that you can take it off and then use it again on something else. So that's pretty cool, because you can even stick it to the wall, right? You're gonna put it up on the wall. You can get shots like this, in which now I'm looking at the camera there on the wall and it's capturing me here, right? I can pull it down, I can bring it a little lower if I want to, right? and now it's capturing me in front of my bike. But it's really freaking cool. I mean, this adhesive is pretty strong. It's like it's pretty stuck on there. Okay. And the cool thing, as I mentioned about this earlier, was that it's that adhesive that, you know, you just run it under some water, clean it off, let it air dry, and then it's good to go for your next adventure. So another mount that it comes with is one that can attach to a hat or a helmet. And basically what you're doing with this one is you're just putting it up there. It also has a magnet to keep it still. And then you got like this nice footage, and it's not this big honking, you know, GoPro that's on the top of your helmet. So one of the things that I hated with the GoPro is that it was just so big that if I was out riding, everybody knew that I was recording with the GoPro. With this, I feel like it's a lot, you know, smaller form factor, and it's not as noticeable. So I really like this. You can also, I've seen people use it in the back of their hats like this. If I can get this on there. This one's a little hard because I don't have a really sturdy strap, but there we go. So you can do this, and it's even less noticeable. You know, you can't really tell with this thing on there. So I really like, again, the size of this camera because it is just, it's hardly noticeable. All right, next let's use the helmet. Okay, the last mount that it comes with is probably the one that is the best for your point of view type of shots. It comes with a pendant that has also a magnet in it. So you just wear this around your neck. You can make it tighter or looser to get it higher or lower. You just drop it in your shirt, and then you just pop this right on, and it's pretty sturdy. This thing does not come out, and you can kind of ride and get a really cool perspective, you know, much like a chest mount for a GoPro, but look how small this thing is, right? Again, it's not, you don't have to wear like this huge thing with different straps. You just wear this little pendant, hang it around your neck, stick it in your shirt, and pop your Insta 360 Go-To right on it, and it's in the right spot. And again, because this captures, you know, 180 degrees of video, even if this thing is a little off or crooked, you can still get your straight horizon lock in your video when you're done with it. With the GoPro, I have one of those snap mounts that is also kind of like a magnet, but with that, you gotta have your GoPro on straight. If you don't have it on straight, all your shots are gonna be crooked. With this, it doesn't really matter. And it's so easy to go from this to then pop it into the thing for your helmet. You can just do this as you're riding. There's a lot of times in which I will take it from my helmet, boom, and then I can just pop it right on my shirt, and I got a different perspective. So that's really cool about this camera. So another benefit to this camera is that it has a lens cap on it that protects the lens. Sometimes with 360 cameras, especially because it has that round lens on it, there's nothing you can really do to protect it. And if you scratch it, you're pretty much screwed. With this, it has a case, a cover on it, so that if you do scratch it, you can get a replacement, and then you don't have to worry. So that's pretty cool. It's also waterproof, so you can throw this, I think it's down to like 30 feet, but I'm not quite sure on that one. But you can take this in the water like you can a GoPro, and it works fine. The case doesn't. I don't think the case is waterproof though. So just this little piece, you can take this in the water. But I do not think that this is waterproof, especially it just has that port for the USB-C and for charging and for offloading your files. So I would not put this in the water, but this can go in the water. Another great thing about this camera is the stabilization. It rivals GoPro for sure. The footage that comes out of this camera is just insanely stable. If you take a look at some of the videos that I have that I've done in shorts for the Great Cycle Challenge, the footage is just really nice. It's stable, it flows, and it rivals the GoPro for sure. And I know that the GoPro Hero 10 just came out, and the stabilization on that is even better, but I think it compares to the GoPro really nicely, and I don't think you're going to miss the GoPro at all because the stabilization on this is really good. Now, let's talk about some of the drawbacks with this thing, because it's not the perfect camera at all. Of course, because the camera is so small, the battery does not last very long. If you shoot this in pro mode with 180 degrees of recording, you don't get a ton of footage off of this. I've had my recordings sometimes mysteriously stop at 10 minutes for no reason. I jumped off a curb and it stopped recording. So I'm not sure what's going on and why it was doing those things. In all of the cases, I always had spare room on the device itself. It has 32 gigs of internal storage, and there's no way to increase the storage in any way. So what you're gonna have to do is connect the case with a USB-C cable to your computer, and then offload your footage to clear it up, and then wipe it out, and then you're good to go again. But it does hold 32 gigs, which is more than enough for a session. It's just that you can't really add any storage, and then because it's so tiny, the battery doesn't last a long time. But what I've done in the middle of rides is that after I've got some of my shots, I pop this back in a case, close it up, and then it's charging. What it does is it charges the device while it's in the case, and so that when I'm riding 15 minutes later and I want to get another shot, I can just pop this out and boom, I still got juice in it and it's still good to go. Okay. All right, so bottom line, I absolutely love this camera. There are some drawbacks, as I mentioned, with the battery life. Sometimes connecting to your computer, the first time I used it, it kept losing the connection in the middle of dropping or pulling off files from it. I rebooted the computer and then it was fine after that. So I never had that problem again. But the footage is pretty awesome. It has cut off on me a couple times, so that hasn't been really cool. I'm not sure what happened and why sometimes my footage just dropped for no reason, even though I had tons of storage on it. The battery life isn't the greatest, but just the versatility of being able to put this camera in all these different places, being able to mount it, and having just all these other options available to put this camera in interesting places just makes this my favorite action cam to date. So it's about 300 bucks, and you can pick it up at the Insta360 website. I'll put the link in the description below. I don't get anything from it. I am just a huge fan of their product, and I just wanted to share it with you. So if you liked it, please hit that like button, consider subscribing, and I will see you on the next one. So until then, take care of one another, be safe, and aloha.